So one of the biggest myths about cannabis that I'd like to dispel is that it's completely harmless. I think this is a widely accepted view that smoking or consuming cannabis has no physiological or psychological harms whatsoever. And that is just not true based on the information that we have. And I think the important thing when we're talking about that is actually the exact opposite of that as well, which is another myth, is that cannabis is a dangerous drug. And we don't have evidence to support that either. So these two myths often go hand in hand by two different groups that talk just in a very binary nature. But everything we know today says that both of these are not true, and it's important to understand the nuance in between them. So the vast majority of people can consume cannabis without having any physiological or psychological harms in the short term or long term. And so when we talk about cannabis, for the most part, it is a relatively safe drug when used very sparingly in moderation and when certain people use it, and that's most of the population. However, it becomes problematic when it becomes habitual, when it starts to affect aspects of your daily life, when it starts to affect relationships. And so that usually comes when there's when the drug and the drug use is actually interacting with an individual and their life experiences. And so at that point, when use picks up and the drug use is being used to cope with other things that are going on potentially, that's when it can start to have some adverse effects on people.